Welcome to today's deep dive. Imagine being hunted in a scorching, totally waterless desert.
Right. Just a complete nightmare.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you're physically starving, your body's failing, but somehow your mind is experiencing this lavish, joyful feast.
It's a massive contrast. And hi, everyone. Glad to be here to unpack this.
Same here. So today's source is a text from the English Standard Version of the Bible, specifically Psalm 63. It was written by David while he was, hiding out in the Judean wilderness.
And our mission today is really to explore the wild emotional whiplash of this ancient text. Because, well, it reads less like a traditional prayer and more like this brilliant, almost psychological survival manual.
Okay, so let's unpack this a bit. The text starts with this brutal physical reality. He says his soul thirsts and his flesh faints in a dry and weary land where there is no water.
Yeah, the Judean wilderness is notoriously unforgiving. But it's fascinating because the physical deprivation, it completely mirrors his spiritual longing.
Wait, so is he literally dying of dehydration out there? Or is this just a dramatic metaphor for, craving connection?
Well, it's both. The environment really is trying to kill him, but that physical deprivation is compounded by an active human threat.
Right, because surviving a desert isn't just about fighting starvation. It's about fighting whoever forced you into the desert in the first place.
Exactly.
Because, you might read the beginning and think, oh, it's purely about spiritual longing. But that illusion of a peaceful retreat just gets completely shattered.
Oh, absolutely. The tone abruptly shifts in verses 5 through 8. Suddenly, his soul is satisfied, as he says, as with fat and rich food.
Which is wild. Wait, he's starving in a literal desert, but suddenly he's eating rich food in bed. How does that even work?
So this happens when he remembers and meditates on his bed in the watches of the night.
Right, and those watches were the literal shifts guards took, right?
Yeah, exactly, to spot danger and hostile territory. It's a highly deliberate psychological mechanism. The external reality hasn't changed an inch.
He's still starving in the sand.
Right, but internally, he's surviving by forcefully shifting his focus. He finds shelter in the shadow of your wings.
It's almost like he's building a psychological panic room.
That's a great way to put it. Clinging to that memory provides the actual emotional sustenance that the physical desert lacks.
But here's where it gets really interesting. It goes from this peaceful meditation retreat straight into a gritty revenge thriller.
It really does take a dark turn in verses 9 through 11.
Yeah, he brings up enemies seeking to destroy his life. And he predicts they'll go down into the depths of the earth, be given over to the sword, and become a portion for jackals. That is incredibly dark imagery.
Well, ancient texts often juxtaposed intense spiritual devotion with the brutal reality of survival and justice.
True, but portion for jackals.
Yeah, that specific detail is essential to understanding the ancient mindset. In the ancient Near East, being killed and left unburied for scavengers wasn't just a gruesome end.
It was like the ultimate curse, right?
Exactly. It meant the total erasure of your legacy and absolute dishonor. The author is navigating a very real, violent threat.
So that intense desire for harsh justice is completely linked to the hostile environment he's trapped in.
Right. And it forces you to consider what actually provides you with sustenance when the external world offers nothing but threats.
Which makes you think about how this applies today. Obviously, you're probably not dodging swords in a literal desert.
Probably not.
But how do you handle your own metaphorical, dry and weary lands? When you're in a place of intense deprivation, do you know how to build that panic room in the watches of the night?
Or does the desert just consume you? Because the text ends with a very stark image. The king will rejoice, and the mouths of liars will be stopped.
Yeah, and in our own modern wilderness, surrounded by endless noise and our own metaphorical jackals, it leaves you wondering, are we the ones desperately seeking the sanctuary, or are our own words the ones at risk of being silenced?